Can you celebrate becoming someone's predecessor? Not their boss, not the founder, not someone that they depend on or rely on, but their predecessor. The person that is just developing people. You know what, I speak to people all the time and in generational businesses, and they're working hard at building a legacy and preparing the next generation and setting up the systems, the processes, all the operations, everything. But are they preparing themselves? They don't understand, once I've done all that, what's my role? What do I do? How do I evolve? Because this is the ultimate stage of leadership. The ultimate evolution of a leader is to be at that development stage where you're just focusing on developing people. As a predecessor, you're just a predecessor. But just being a predecessor doesn't mean that it's all in your past. And today I want to cover a few things, a few ideas, a few things that I talk about to those people to give them a little bit of guidance of understanding what is the next stage of a predecessor, that ultimate evolution of a leader as a developer. Successor development gets all the attention. Yeah, if you speak to anyone about succession planning, if you talk to anyone about how the business is going to grow and evolve and scale and next generations and everything, we're always focusing on what are they doing? What are the systems we're setting up? What are the processes we're setting up? What team are we getting into what position? Do up the org chart and who's covering each role and are we going to train those people? We need to train those people and get them up so that they can operate that part, blah, blah, blah. Look, we focus on all of that. But unfortunately, that's where the succession conversation stops. Because we're all just focused on the successor. But what about the predecessor? Who prepares the predecessor? Who's going to grow and develop and help that predecessor transition into that final stage of leadership? Because it's this whole succession planning is not the end, and it does it for the founder, and it's not that's it, that like the predecessor's done. No. The predecessor also has a role that they need to evolve into. But often this evolution is actually the hardest stage to evolve into. Because as a developer, the scorecard is no longer the business. You've been running the business to a scorecard. You know exactly how that organization, how your scorecard is you know how you're successful. But now the scorecard is no longer about revenue, no longer about growth. Your scorecard is now about people. Am I developing someone to become more capable? Am I mentoring someone? Am I helping them build and grow as a person? No longer KPIs of numbers. The KPIs are now people. And unfortunately, this ultimate evolution of a leader is inhibited by a fear of obsolescence. But that's the ultimate goal as a leader, is to become obsolete. But the challenge is we interpret this obsolescence with being irrelevant, with being insignificant, with being not needed anymore. But obsolescence doesn't mean that you're not significant, doesn't mean that you don't have value in the organization. It just means that it has shifted. Your fear, I know, it's not about losing control, it's who am I then? I've been running this business for so long. Who am I? And your identity needs to shift from the person who builds businesses to the person that builds people. And the question isn't, can you lead anymore? It's, can you get into a place where you no longer need to lead? Can you accept this transition that leading is actually looks different now? Leadership looks different for you now because you're growing people, not the organization. Can you let go of that? And becoming a predecessor doesn't mean a reduction in leadership. It means an expansion in leadership. It means now your role is so much bigger. And now you're a developer. You're not disappearing, but you're now focusing on growing people, developing people. And those people that you're developing are going to be the future of your organization. They're the people that you're going to help mold into the future decision makers, the future operators, the future people, architects in the organization. You're going to be able to mold them by helping them as people become better leaders themselves. Because the goal of leadership was never to build followers. The goal of leadership is to create leaders who can create leaders. And this is that ultimate evolution of a leader. Are you now a developer of people? Are you completely decentralized from your organization and now able to just step back and just focus on developing people, because that is the ultimate evolution of a leader.